god, hi! Welcome to another Stab and Gap, where I didn't make a video, and I love to yap, and I love to knit. So, grab your knitting, grab your work in progress, grab your crochet, whatever you're working on. If you embroider, anything that involves a stabbing motion, besides murder, please don't murder people. Pull up a chair. Let's get to work. I really don't have a lot to talk about, but I also really don't have the energy to make a different video or the money. It is still September, and we are in Hispanic Heritage Month, which has been so much fun so far. We've been reading Down These Mean Streets by Piri Thomas. It is a memoir, obviously. I'm not done with it, so I've started it, but I haven't finished it yet. So the goal for today is to finish it. I only have about 100 pages left, which is great. And then next up, a book called Hexwood by Diana Wynne Jones. She's the woman who wrote Howl's Moving Castle, which, if you didn't know, Howl's Moving Castle is also a book. It started as a book before it was adapted into a movie, which is a cinematic masterpiece. Hexwood, the person who picked it said don't read anything about it, because they want it to be more of like a surprise. It's better if you, one of those books that it's better if you don't know a whole lot going in. So I know nothing except that the author is the very same woman who gave us Howl. Is his last name Pendragon? Did I make that up? Hold on. I just miss BBC's Merlin. He's just called Wizard Howl, I think. I'm the smartest woman in the whole world. It's Howl Jenkin Pendragon. Okay. Back to stabbing. Okay, so once I finish Down These Mean Streets, I'm going to read Hexwood, which is super short. It does not look like it's very long. So hopefully I can knock that out pretty quickly so I can get back to reading for Hispanic Heritage Month. And I have some fun things planned for that. We'll support some local businesses. We'll get some authentic Hispanic foods. And we will make a craft. So very exciting. I haven't decided what craft or where we're going to eat yet. But I am very excited to do those things because I love Hispanic cuisine and I love crafting. So celebrating the culture through the food and the artistry of the people and the books, I think is very important. So I'm very excited to get to do that. So yay. The next thing I want to talk about is our plans for October. Our as in yours and mine. And our as in me, what I'm planning to do for our Crow Club. October's monthly celebrations are vast. A lot of months have a lot of different celebrations. So like September had a couple different, October has a couple different ones. So it just kind of depends on which one we want to do. Choosing one does not mean that I'm ignoring the other ones, but I can't read 3 books for every single thing going on each month. So if you celebrate something in a month and I don't, that doesn't mean that I'm trying to ignore it or overlook it or pretend it's not happening or disrespect it in any way. I just can only do so much. I'm just a person. So I'm choosing one thing for every month, and if we want to do something different next year, we can. We can choose a different celebration to have for that same month next year. Some of them are immovable, like Black History Month and Pride and AAPI Month, as well as Hispanic Heritage Month, especially because that one is so unique as it is in the middle of 2 months. But some of the other months don't have something as clear-cut as those. So October's has a couple different monthly celebrations. Needing a month to celebrate something comes from the fact that that thing, your heritage or this disease or this violence or whatever it is not talked about enough, and so we need this month to talk about it. So like with suicide prevention, we don't really talk about suicide a lot. It's hard to talk about, so we need the month to talk about it, to take it out of the dark and into the light. So October has a few. I'm getting my information from Wikipedia, so it also has a couple different countries monthly celebrations. I'm unfortunately an American, so I will be celebrating the American ones. So like for October, it is Black History Month in the UK and Ireland and the Netherlands, but I'm going to stick to celebrating Black history all the time, but especially in February. It is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Filipino American History Month, Italian American Heritage and Cultural Month, LGBT History Month in the US and Canada, National Arts and Humanities Month, National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, also part of Hispanic Heritage Month, National Pizza Month. I'm not a pizza person. I'm sorry. I eat pizza socially, like some people smoke cigarettes socially, where it's like if everyone's out drinking, yeah, okay, I'll have a pizza. Like some people have a cigarette, but I'm not gonna be like, you know, it sounds really good right now. Pizza. I'm sorry. I'm not like other girls. What can I say? National Work and Family Month. Don't know exactly what that means. Polish American Heritage Month, citation needed, so unclear, and American Archives Month. So obviously I cannot celebrate each thing each year, and the ones that really stuck out for me were like Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's a really important thing to talk about that we don't talk a lot about, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it is something that's affected so many women. There are some things that can be grouped into other things, like the Philippines are a country in Asia, so Filipino history can also be celebrated during Asian American and Pacific Islander Month. Some things can be separated and broken down. Some things should be celebrated all on their own or talked about all on their own. So it's all just kind of whatever we feel. I've been thinking a lot about what to do for October. I originally was going to do and talk about domestic violence awareness, but I still obviously think it's important to talk about, and it is something that we don't really know a lot about because there's such a stigma around it. All this to say, while I think that that is an important cause to talk about, it's really hard to find books about domestic violence. I didn't want to read It Ends With Us. Nobody wants to read that book. It was not well received, and the movie even more so. So it's another one of those things like Suicide Prevention Month that is like hard to talk about and hard to read and hard to do things for. And there was a way to do that with Suicide Prevention Month that I still felt comfortable and could make it something that's enjoyable to view, even as the viewer you. But this year I have thought a lot about what October is going to look like. And this October will be the 2-year mark of the genocide happening in Palestine. April is Arab American Heritage Month, and Palestine falls under that category as well. So kind of like with Filipino American Heritage Month, it could also be considered part of AAPI month. I want to talk about Palestine on its own because this is something that is still happening and something that is a huge disconnect that I think a lot of people have. So I want to take October to talk about Palestine and to talk about Palestinian books and celebrate Palestinian culture and to talk about what's really going on over there. I know my goal is to do like a memoir, a fiction, and a fantasy, but Palestine is one of those things that it's such a unique to this world's country that it's hard to find a fantasy book with Palestine involved. I went into my Goodreads and I found 3 books that I already had marked under my TBR that I want to read. These are the books that we will be reading for October. We have The 100 Years' War on Palestine, A Woman is No Man, and You Exist Too Much. This one is our nonfiction for the month, and one of these is queer. Hold on. This one is about a queer girl moving from Palestine to America, and this one is about kind of like generational trauma. I don't think that this starts in Palestine, but the author is Palestinian and the main characters are Palestinian. So this one is Palestinian American, as is You Exist Too Much as well. But this one is queer. This one seems straight. We'll see. I don't know. And this one has different generations of women in it. So these ones are already on my TBR. as books I wanted to read, probably talked about by other booktubers and people on TikTok and wherever else I get my books from. So if you recommended these in a video, I probably saw it and I probably added it to my TBR. So thank you so much for the recommendation. I look forward to reading these. I did buy mine off of thrift books, so they're a little pre-loved, because like we said, your girl's a little poor, so we have to thrift, and that's good for the environment. I'm sorry that I cannot spend full priced on books every month. I would love to support the authors directly, but that's not always going to be a reality for me in this current financial state. But I can support the authors by talking about their books and celebrating their books and promoting their books and reading their books. Even if I don't buy them directly, they're still getting the circulation and they're still getting conversations around them. So I'm sorry I cannot afford to purchase 3 new books every month, but I can afford thrift books and I can afford to use my time to talk about what's important. This will be our plan for October. Buckle up, Buttercup. My yarn just slipped off of my needle. Oh my god. This is so stupid. Yeah, I'm doing this. Saved by the needle and a steady hand. I should be a doctor. That's really it. I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about. If you have topics you want me to talk about, you can leave a comment. I have not been very good at promoting myself for likes and comments and my other social medias. So let me just take a minute now to do that. You can find me at Madly Peculiar on pretty much everything. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. I've been posting a couple TikToks here and there. And on Goodreads, you can also find me as Madly Peculiar. I've started to create different bookshelves on there for each month that we're celebrating books. I will sweep through the internet looking for books to read for each month. And while I can only do so much and read so much, there are many more books out there that sounded interesting to me that I think would be fun to read. So I've stacked them all into that category. It's 4:46, which means Stinky gets fed in 14 minutes, which means now I get to listen to her symphony of hunger. She gets fed 4 times a day. She's fine. Anyways, on Goodreads, you can find those if you wanted to read books to celebrate each month, but the books that I chose you didn't think sounded interesting or you wanted something else. So you can find me on Goodreads. You can look into that. You'll also see my updates and my reviews before they come out on Instagram. Instagram is where you'll find each Good Books Cute Legs picture, and TikTok is where you'll find a lot of reposts. I post when I want to, but I do a lot of reposting for things that are happening now politically that need to be talked about and people need to listen to. So if you want to stay up to date with me on there, you can, or find me on Instagram, or find me on Goodreads, or just keep watching these videos and leave comments about what you want me to gab about as we stab and gab, or what books that you think would be good for each month, or what you're reading, or what you're making. I would love to know. So I hope that this was fun, and I hope that we can grow together and learn together, as I am still learning how to do all of this, but I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun, and yeah, I'll see you next time. We'll do another video together. Go make something. Go read something. Have a great day. Okay, love you. Bye! Look how long our scarf is. It doesn't even fit